Hi, I'm Sluggy and welcome to my channel, Wheels and Whisky. Join me as I visit distilleries within easy riding distance from a local train station, enjoy new scenery and maybe a wee nip from my hip flask. The routes I use will always be linked in the description for others to try themselves. Welcome to my first video for my YouTube channel, Wheels and Whisky, where I'll be showing some videos of me visiting some distilleries on my bike, sampling some nice whiskies, and of course enjoying the Scottish countryside along the way. Today's route is approximately a 40km round trip, and you get to visit 2 distilleries en route. There's even the option to go beyond Bowling, the finishing point, to Loch Lomond, or you can return back to Glasgow or even get the train back from various points along the route. Before we get any further, please be with me as I start my channel. There already are some various improvements I want to make after editing the first video, including getting some more scenic shots, making myself up on journey so I can talk during the ride, and also hope to get access to distilleries. Unfortunately, current COVID rules limit casual visits to some of the distilleries. As you can see, my journey starts at a train station, this time Central Station in Glasgow. I plan to use public transport, mainly trains, to get close to the distillery, so that for even a casual rider, they'll be able to easily cycle to and back from the distillery in a morning or in an afternoon. Maybe a maximum of 60 kilometres, which would be suitable for those on electric bikes. I'll also try to make use where possible of the National Cycle Network, who offer off-road routes, and these will be suitable for most bikes, or at least where possible I'll stay on quieter roads, and I will be sharing these routes on Komoot to allow people to download and use themselves. The first distillery we're going to visit is very close to Glasgow city centre, but we need to get way out of there first of all. In fact, it's that close you could actually walk to it from the town centre, or even it's available on a short train journey. It's situated near to the Riverside Museum, a very popular tourist place, which you'll see later on in the video. As we travel along the side of the River Clyde, I guess the next distillery is appropriate named as the Clydeside Distillery. The Clydeside Distillery was built on a previous building which was called the Pump House. The Pump House once controlled all the comings and goings for the famous Queen's Dock, as it was used to pump hydraulic power for the Swing Bridge, facilitating the trade of many goods including whisky that was loaded onto the ships and taken to every continent around the world. In recent years, the building has been used as an Italian and an Indian restaurant, and more recently it was used as a visitor centre for the tall ship Glenshee, which has now been moved to be docked at the Riverside Museum. However, in 2017, Tim Morrison, whose family has been involved in whisky over many generations, opened the Clydeside Distillery, and this fulfilled his ambition to revive distilling single malt whisky once more in Glasgow. Also through the distillery he's also helped restore the dock his great grandfather helped build. The distillery produced its first bottling in 2021, and I look forward to seeing more whisky from this lowland distillery. The distillery runs regular tours which currently require pre-booking via the website, and they do have basic tours starting at £15 and going up to a more personalised tour at over £100. As As we pass by the Riverside Museum and head towards the next distillery, we continue along the National Cycle Network, and I would encourage you to find out more about them online at the Sustrans website. The National Cycle Network manage over 1,500 miles, or for us cyclists, 2,500 kilometres of National Cycle Network routes. This includes 702 miles of traffic-free routes, which is a mixture of railway paths, canal towpaths, forest routes, shared use paths, segregated cycle lanes and predetermined rural footways. Another good resource for cycling routes is Komoot, which I post my routes on. It grades the routes for beginners to advanced. You can search in your local area or the area you're going to for recommended routes, and you can search for certain distances, certain levels, whether on-road or off-road. And a great resource if you don't know the area at all, and you can plan your route on there as well, just as I've done, and I think it's better than Google Maps. Today as we ride along this route, you'll see we cover various surfaces. We cover some old railway routes, and later on we'll join the canal towpath as we head towards our final destination. As we head to our next distillery, we've got to go off the National Cycle Pathways. However, it's only a short detour and you're back on convenient trails quite quickly. We'll head to Auchentoshan Distillery. Auchentoshan was established in the Dunbartonshire estate of Auchentoshan in 1823, and it was built by a person called Thorne, an engineer from Greenock. The distillery was bombed in 1941, and this severely damaged the distillery, destroying a warehouse, and I've been told by a friend that actually created the pond in front of the distillery. At that time, whisky production was stopped during World War II due to the tagging of the River Clyde and its shipyards nearby. Auchentoshan is one of the few distilleries that practice triple distillation, compared to most who only do 2 or for some 2.5. The distillery has changed hands over many years and is currently owned by Suntory, a Japanese multinational brewing company who also own other well-known brands like Lefroy, American Jim Beam, and also Pepsi, to name a few. They recently went through a rebranding in 2019 to connect with the younger drinkers and also with Glasgow. They make great whisky, including the well-priced Auchentoshan 3 Wood. The last part of the video is a trip to Bowling, a small village on the Firth of Clyde between Clydebank and Dumbarton. You could actually continue on through Bowling on the cycle paths all the way to Lomond and beyond. However, I decided to stop my journey here for a coffee break and to change my video battery. Unfortunately, when I was doing this, I must have sung to the camera, and the recordings on the way back home didn't turn out quite right. The footage is unusable, apologies for that. However, I hope you found this first trip interesting. If you did, then like and subscribe to the channel, as I hope to post a monthly distillery visit and maybe some other smaller videos in between. You can also find me on Instagram on Wheels and Whisky for some more regular updates. Safe travelling and drink responsibly.